Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be game 2 between Fisheye and Baxter. Baxter up a game. I've never seen a 1-gate beat a 2-gate in quite that manner, by the way. That was very fun to watch. Bottom left hand corner, Baxter starting as the magenta Protoss. Bottom right hand corner, we have Fisheye starting as the yellow Protoss. This is BSL 20 Hasuleague Grand Finals. I'm going to throw out a commentator prediction where, because Shuttle is so strong on this map, I'm wondering if one or the other of these guys is going to try to opt for 1-gate observer. I wouldn't be shocked if Baxter is the one to do so. And the other player, I'm wondering if they're going to go for that 2-gate timing to press into that. And that might be the deciding factor. So that's I think one player or the other, that might happen here. That being said, this is a very, very interesting map. It does have macro elements, but third bases, excuse me, third bases on this map, up this high ground plateau, and you can see where Reaver's defending can have some success, but Reaver's getting dropped behind these back lines between this big huge area, There's just a lot of opportunity for drops all over this map. So getting robotics tech up, obviously high Templar drops a big factor. I'm wondering if Fisheye actually after game 1 might be opting against 2 gateway openers. And I'm wondering if he looked back at replay 1 and kind of scratched his head with that one. I certainly would be if I were him. Probe going for a clockwise scout. In the meantime, Baxter looks like he's going for a, counterclockwise scout for Fisheye. Looks like clockwise scout from Baxter. Both these guys going to come across each other potentially a little bit later. Looks like, yeah, it's going to be gateway into a simulator. 2-gate this time for Baxter. So inverse of the previous situation, although rather than cross position, we have horizontal position for Baxter to execute this. I've seen Fisheye defend fairly well multiple times versus 2-gate, but I've also seen him collapse once or twice in the midst of this. I enjoy his responses, honestly, in many instances. Dropping that cybernetics score before the initial Zealot here. First Zealot on the way. Defensive Zealot is queued up. And Fisheye, yeah, having trouble. Unfortunately, going for, with the scouting pattern, he's going to be the latest to Baxter, but Baxter might be able to see the tail end of the 3 Zealots as they're making the way across. And unfortunately, oof, this could be rough, is what I'm going to say on Fisheye's part, because I'm actually not even sure, because I think these 2 Zealots are going to be produced, and I think the Zealots might be right around here somewhere. Side note, thanks for the raid in New Ocean. Congrats to New Ocean, by the way, for his fantastic placing in Hasuleague this season. First Dragoon's queued up. Yeah, so Probe making its way across, and here's the timing. So yeah, here are the Zealots. I think they're going to make it right about here. Yeah. Probe does in fact see them. So now what's Fisheye's response? Does he have the resources to mount the response? He's already queued up range. Doesn't look like he's going to cancel range. He's going to drop the 2nd gate in the space of this. Oftentimes you do need something additional. Shield battery is going to be the defense. Dragoon swapping out. I will say many instances I've seen the shield battery strategy go awry. 3 Zealots getting some good damage on that front. The front completely left open. Zealot now encroaching, but this is 3 Zealots that are going to walk straight to that mineral line. So Fisheye is certainly going to take some losses unless he just has a miracle probe pull. The 2nd scattering is working out fairly well for him, but he's already lost 2. And man, yeah, 3 probe losses. There's going to be down 4. 5. Probe actually got 2 kills. Probe got 2 kills in the space of that, by the way. And is he going to escape with the probe as well? So Baxter, game 1, game 2, entering with massive economic leads in the mid game. We did have a Manor Pylon, which created a bit of economic disruption in the space of this, but kind of a nice response to the 2-gate. But it is going to be up to Fisheye to provide some, and you can see the shield battery just wasn't any sort of factor across the board right there. I don't like the shield battery defense. Very rarely have I ever seen it be successful, is I guess my statement. And now Fisheye having to play from behind. Is he just going to go 2-gate robotics will be the next question. Looks like he's going to go 1-gate obs in the space of this. And this is nice for Baxter because he can just do the 2. Keep in mind, when I was talking about the early stages, granted this is from a different starting point than I was thinking, but Baxter might just be able to roll this over as far as a follow-up. I will be curious to see if Fisheye goes straight Robo or support bay. As far as a follow-up, I think support bay would be the most intelligent follow-up. He is dropping a lagging second gateway. I was actually hoping to just see one robotic straight into support bay as far as an attempted catch-up mechanic. Still 5 workers down, by the way, in the midst of this. Robotic support bay getting dropped, so by extra opening up 2-gate robo effectively in the series of this build order. And I think Fisheye did maintain range rather than canceling range in the space of this, but he's still going to be outnumbered and potentially bullied out of his natural expansion. And Byaxter is doing a great job macroing in the midst of this to maintain that lead. Shuttle being constructed first, which does lead me to believe that we are in fact going to see robotics first. Byaxter sidling forward to try to get a scout and try to click it here. Observatory first, actually, here from Fisheye. Maybe a little bit was respecting the DT follow-up. I don't like that with the initial losses he took, honestly. Maybe he's underestimating the initial losses, but 8 worker lead now for Byaxter and mounting, and a larger army for Byaxter as well. Going ahead and dropping both a little bit delayed in comparison. That robotic support bay going to be a little bit earlier, but Byaxter more or less is going to be able to grab his natural. He'll also have the counterattack opportunity with the 2-gate. And it's going to be up to Fisheye to get some sort of micro advantage with the Reaver to follow up. I will say, I think there's been also some probe cutting here and there from Fisheye, which is just mounting that probe differential. I will say this is that map where you have lots of area to drop, keep in mind. There's a wide space to drop. And even though it's 33 workers, it's 33 workers on one base. So Byaxter getting a little bit of additional mining, but it's not so, he doesn't have the natural, he's working on the natural right this second. This is the map where if you're going to do a Reaver comeback off a shuttle drop, this is the absolute map to do it. So I'm not going to count Fisheye out just yet, but right now I will say it is looking grim. Looking grim indeed. Natural expansion going up Byaxter with a significant both worker and supply lead, and that's just going to amplify. And Fisheye might lose this initial observer as well. Needs to, nice turnaround. But saw the edge of that expansion, sees the observer, so knows there's a support bay on the opposite end, is queuing up 2 Reavers, so might want to just wait for that second Reaver and go for an aggressive ground battle in between rather than pushing out that initial Reaver, get what it's done. I will say I've seen Fisheye do a really, really good job in the midst of that. The observer looks like it got picked off. Fisheye drew it across someplace, and it ended up getting sniped. Nothing going right for Fisheye, so it seems like the luck that was there for him in the previous series is drying up now as far as the continuation. That's got to be frustrating considering he's been here before. Reaver about 7/8 finished. The observer able to see the army. The secondary problem with that observer gone is, first of all, Byaxter able to just wander up, see that there's no natural expansion. He's going to be able to spot the Reaver positioning on top of everything else as it makes its way across the map. So you can just push this observer in, see the shuttle on delay, and might even be able to, and he's just going to have theoretically superior positioning. Probe's now saturating that natural expansion. No shuttle here yet for Byaxter, by the way, so it is going to be a shuttleless Reaver defense. But now, yeah, Byaxter making his way forward before those Reavers are part of this assault group. This is his best engagement scenario. Backing out, actually, so Fisheye might have a shot. This Reaver is going to be the key, and these 2 Reavers and their timing are going to be the key. The shuttle Reaver's not dropped as of yet. Reaver's not taking a shot. Reaver's not engaging, now starting to engage. Reaver is picked off here in the midst of this, but it's still large attack force, and the Reaver and the shuttle are gone. I think that's going to be it. Maybe not, actually. More reinforcements making the way forward. Second Reaver on the ground. It's heads up play, but the group up shot right there on Fisheye. The Reaver exposed. It's getting hunted down. Another big splash. And the army is now equalized, and Fisheye does not have an expansion to work with. Just now dropping his natural. That one Reaver shot as the Dragoons were encroaching was huge, by the way. Absolutely huge. Byaxter mining. Does he have additional gateways on top of this? He is tacked on a 5th, and probably a 6th is going to be coming shortly. So after that initial 2-gate, yeah, trying to do what he can. Probably going to GG after dedicating these. Actually, accidentally pushed a probe probably where he wasn't intended. Observer's going to just confirm for Byaxter that this third base hasn't been grabbed, because that would be another comeback opportunity for Fisheye, is expose the attack, drop additional. But basically, if you look at it, not only do you have double the worker count for Byaxter, you've got more than double the production. Plus, you've got the robotics facility, which potentially would need to be paused. You got information lead. You got all of the leads in Byaxter's favor right now, past the 10-minute mark. And it's just, effectively, we're looking at a perfunctory move out from Byaxter just to end it. He can grab the 6 o'clock base entirely, because Fisheye can't even walk out. He has to continually produce Reavers and Shuttles. Looks like he is going to try to sneak out an Observer, but this might have been a mistake in the space of this, because right now, with that Observer, he's just going to be able to confirm that he's further behind than he had hoped. I don't know that it's going to provide him a lot of additional information. Aside from that, the Observer at least will get picked off from Byaxter, but that's got to be heart-sinking knowing that your infrastructure has been exposed as well. 6 o'clock base up and running. Dragoon spread. And Observer starting to make its way out. I'm wondering if it'll get called once he's got to kind of... Well, is Byaxter gonna... No. But he is going to be able to come across the 6 o'clock and probably confirm that this base is in operation. Maybe? Maybe not, actually. But Byaxter also able to get a large troop count underneath. And right now, Fisheye's troop spread are looking to... It looks like he's a little bit concerned about a drop opposite side and is playing drop defense, but he doesn't have to worry about a drop. He has to worry about a pummeling from the front. And right now, the unit's completely spread out. 2 Reavers now drop. Fisheye completely caught off guard. Shuttle's gone. And not much of a fight from here. This is going to be a slogging, especially considering how spread out these Dragoons are. Natural expansion completely exposed. Probes dying. Nothing going right for Fisheye here, game 1 and game 2, I will say that. See if it stabilizes from here, but this is going to be a pretty easy, yeah, GG, pretty easy Byaxter win. Byaxter now up 2-0, 1 game away from being the Hasuleague Season 20 champion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.